The entity that bent the solar wind, the mystery of 3I, Atlas. For billions of years, the Sun has reigned as the undisputed monarch of our solar system. A blazing ocean of plasma and fusion, its power shapes every planet, sculpts their skies, and defines the boundaries of life itself. Its light has remained steady, predictable, the one constant in a restless cosmos. Until now. Hidden deep within the streams of data sent back from NASA's Parker Solar Probe and the European Space Agency's Solar Orbiter, scientists found something that defied every known law of physics, a distortion buried within the Sun's own breath. The solar wind, that endless storm of charged particles flowing outward from the Sun, should have been smooth, uniform, and predictable. But in this case, it wasn't. It was bending. Not by turbulence. Not by chance. But by pattern, deliberate, geometric, intelligent. At the heart of that disturbance was an object, small by cosmic standards yet unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Its name, 3I, Atlas, or as it came to be called, 3I Atlas, the third known interstellar visitor after Oumuamua in 2017 and Borisov in 2019. At first, astronomers assumed it was just another frozen traveler from deep space, a comet passing briefly through our Sun's domain before vanishing into the dark. But as the days passed, 3I Atlas refused to behave like anything natural. The light that spoke as telescopes around the world began to monitor it, scientists noticed something deeply unsettling. Its brightness was not random. It pulsed, in perfect intervals, brightening and fading with mathematical precision. A pattern too exact to be coincidence, too deliberate to be chaos. Then, the James Webb Space Telescope turned its gaze toward it, and the mystery deepened. Webb's instruments revealed that 3I, ATLAS wasn't merely reflecting sunlight. It was modulating it, absorbing and re-emitting photons in frequencies that formed a recognizable sequence. Each pulse corresponded exactly with the same timing found in the solar wind distortions observed by Parker and the Solar Orbiter. It was as if the object and the Sun were communicating, speaking in a language written in plasma and light. No known comet or asteroid could do this. No natural body could twist the magnetic flow of the Sun itself. And yet, 3I Atlas did. The impossible signature. As Parker approached the edge of the Sun's corona, it detected something extraordinary, a curling of the solar wind that followed the movement of 3I, ATLAS with precision. When scientists mapped the data, the focal point of the distortion matched the object's coordinates exactly. At first, NASA's analysts dismissed it as coincidence, perhaps a fluke of magnetic turbulence. But when the Solar Orbiter, stationed millions of kilometers away, recorded the same phenomenon from a different angle, all doubt vanished. Two spacecraft. Two perspectives. One undeniable result. The Sun's own wind, the defining boundary of our heliosphere, was being redirected by something no larger than an asteroid. That should have been impossible. To bend plasma on that scale would require an electromagnetic field far beyond anything a natural body could produce. It would be like watching a pebble divert a hurricane. Machine or mind? As researchers searched for explanations, one possibility emerged, and it was the most unsettling of all. Perhaps 3I, ATLAS wasn't natural. Perhaps it was constructed. Simulations showed that its magnetic field seemed adaptive, changing dynamically in response to the Sun's radiation. Infrared data from Webb revealed shifting heat patterns, consistent with some form of controlled energy conversion, possibly harvesting solar plasma itself. The brighter it grew, the stronger the solar wind distortion became, as if the object were feeding on the Sun's energy. A self-sustaining cycle, a stellar engine, or as some theorists began to call it, a stellar siphon. Others proposed something even more profound, That 3I, ATLAS might not be a machine in the traditional sense, but an observer, a probe powered by the stars it studied. The pulse of the unknown, then came the pulses. Every 4.3 seconds, the object emitted a faint electromagnetic signal, perfectly regular, perfectly stable. Its tail moved counter to expected trajectories, and its magnetic polarity flipped with mechanical rhythm. Even as it neared the sun, where icy bodies should vaporize and disintegrate, it only became brighter, stronger, as though awakening. The relationship between its brightness and the sun's magnetic flow was exact. When the object flared, Parker's sensors detected sharper curvature in the solar wind. When it dimmed, the wind straightened. The synchronization was flawless, like a cosmic duet between star and visitor. Physicists ran every model they could imagine: magnetic resonance, tail ionization, solar harmonics, but none could reproduce the data. The patterns weren't random. They were responsive. The whisper of 3I, Atlas, the living light of the stars. To achieve such impossible precision, to bend the solar wind itself, 3I, ATLAS would need to control forces that challenge the very boundaries of our understanding. Magnetic fields twisting across millions of kilometers, energy flows rivaling the brightness of small suns. Such manipulation would require terawatts of power, levels so vast that even our most advanced fusion concepts look primitive by comparison. And that's when the unthinkable began to circulate among scientists and astronomers alike. Could 3I, ATLAS be the creation of something far beyond human comprehension? A Type II civilization? One capable of drawing its strength directly from the furnace of a star? The Kardashev scale classifies civilizations by their energy mastery. Humanity, still dependent on fossil fuels and limited solar grids, sits at barely Type 0.7. A Type 1 harnesses the power of an entire planet. A Type 2 commands the radiance of its parent star. To them, stellar flares would be tools, magnetic storms, instruments. Perhaps 3I, ATLAS was not just a visitor, but a manifestation of such control, a vessel, or something more. A living pattern. But what if we've been asking the wrong question all along? What if 3I, ATLAS wasn't built, but born? Imagine a being that does not rely on matter as we know it, no carbon, no water, no flesh. Instead, it's made of fields, magnetic filaments, plasma streams, and photonic resonance. A life form woven from light and energy, drifting between suns the way whales cross oceans. To such an entity, stars wouldn't be distant balls of fire. They would be living seas, ecosystems of radiation and current, places to feed, to grow, to rest. Our sun would be merely one stop along a vast and ancient route through the galaxy's spiral arms. A harbor in the eternal tide of starlight. Perhaps what we witnessed, that strange bending of the solar wind, the deflection that made no sense, wasn't resistance at all. It could have been communication. A signal. A simple gesture in a language older than matter itself, the language of magnetism and light. The message in the wind today, 3I, Atlas is once again retreating into the dark. Past Neptune's orbit, it fades like an ember cooling in the void. But something remains behind. Our instruments, sensitive to the faintest traces of solar particles, still detect ripples. Subtle, rhythmic pulses traveling outward through the solar wind. Echoes of a pattern that matches the heartbeat of 3I, Atlas. It could be nothing. It could be a coincidence. Or it could be something extraordinary, a continuing transmission, resonating through the plasma sea that fills our solar system. Even now, deep space probes like Voyager 1 and Parker's Solar Probe record faint fluctuations, whispers embedded in the data streams. Tiny, repeating oscillations that defy random noise. Some call it a quirk of physics. Others believe it may be the remnant of a cosmic signal, still humming across interplanetary space, the memory of a passing intelligence. The question shifts from what 3I, Atlas is, to why it came. Was it studying us, the way we study microbes beneath a microscope? Was it refueling, drawing plasma or magnetic charge from the sun's corona before continuing its interstellar voyage? Or was it something more subtle, a test? A way to see if a young species, newly awakening to the vastness of the cosmos, could recognize the difference between randomness and intention? If light is indeed the universal language, a medium that carries not only information but awareness, then maybe, just maybe, this was our first real conversation. The first word, not a broadcast of conquest. Not a warning or demand, but a gentle acknowledgement. A whisper, carried on the solar wind, that simply said, "We see you. Keep listening." It's a humbling thought, that the first word humanity ever received from beyond might not have been spoken in radio waves or mathematics, but in the bending of light itself. The legacy. And so, as 3I, ATLAS drifts beyond the heliosphere, into the interstellar dark, we are left with more than data. We are left with a mirror, one that reflects our curiosity back at us. Somewhere out there, beyond the veil of stars, something unseen continues to move, shaping currents of plasma, weaving magnetism into music, traveling the cosmic tides between suns. Its existence challenges everything we believe about life, intelligence, and creation. Maybe the universe has always been alive, not silent, not empty, but singing in wavelengths we're only beginning to understand. Perhaps the stars themselves are part of that symphony, and 3I, ATLAS was merely a note, drifting through the void, waiting for someone to listen. Because in the endless ocean of space, even the faintest ripple can change everything. And every mystery, every unanswered signal, every strange object that defies logic, is not a threat, but an invitation. An invitation to wonder, to listen, to understand, and to remember that we, too, are made of light.